I am Ray, and this is how you overcome the 3 killers of mental health. What are they, you might ask? Number 1, ruminating on your past mistakes or just past experiences. 2, worrying and thinking about the future. And 3, judging your present moment experiences. These things will do nothing but to make you miserable and ruin your mental health. You see, when we ruminate on the past things that have happened to us, we need to ask ourselves, does ruminating upon this do anything to change what has happened? Oftentimes, it makes our current reality much worse. If we feel that we've made a mistake, well then how does making ourselves feel guilty and shameful, how does this serve to make amends? How does this change anything? All of this negativity, all of this focusing on all the things that went wrong does nothing but to ruin your present moment experience. So you have to ask yourselves, well, do I want to live a better life? Do I want to make amends? Do I want to learn from my mistakes? Or am I just going to sit here and wallow in my suffering? And the same thing that happens with worrying about the future. You see, human beings are not meant to focus on multiple things at a time. The mind can only focus on one thing. So when we begin thinking about 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 different problems that we're going through, we immediately enter into a strong state of anxiety and stress and worry and concern and fear, because there's nothing that we can do. So we just frustrate ourselves into the grave. Why? Why do we do this to ourselves? Well, it's because maybe we don't realize that we're doing it. Maybe we don't realize the consequences of doing it. Maybe we don't realize the futility of it all. You see, we cannot even predict what will happen 5 minutes from now. So to think that a certain outcome that you fear is inevitable, no matter what evidence you think you have, it is completely unjustified, because there are an infinite amount of different variables that we are unaware of. In fact, by focusing on our fears, we may accidentally co-create them into existence. And then we say, oh, I knew it was going to happen. I foretold the future. No, you created the future because you did not know that you have this power that you create more of by what you choose to focus on. When you focus on problems, you get more problems. When you focus on opportunities, you see more opportunities. When you focus on struggle and suffering, you get more pain. So don't unconsciously create things and then complain about them when they happen. But learn to consciously create the reality that you desire by being aware of where you allow your focus to go. We have 2 buckets in this life. A bucket that leads to our better life, and a bucket that leads to a worse life. And every day we are casting these votes by where we allow our attention to drift. If we focus on 50% good things and 50% bad things, we will live a miserable life with very short glimpses of peace and happiness and love, because we have not controlled our attention. So be aware, be conscious. And you see, when we judge our current experiences, when life isn't going exactly the way that we want it to, we enter into resistance to life, and therefore we suffer. All suffering comes from resistance of the mind. You see, as a person, as an ego, we have an infinite array of different desires and different things that we want to avoid. So the chances of life ever aligning exactly the way we want it to is 0. So if we live from this ego-identified state, we will always be suffering on a never-ending hamster wheel, always trying to get the next thing and to avoid something else. And this is called samsara. It's a cycle of never-ending suffering. And so if you wish to be free from this cycle of suffering, we must return our attention down to the present moment. We must remain grounded in this moment because life can only be experienced in the present moment. So the more we stray from the present moment by ruminating on the past and the future and judging our current experiences, getting caught in our mind storms, the more we are separated from the present moment through these things, the more we suffer and the less we are truly living. And all of these patterns of thinking, these are nothing more than bad habits. We have been conditioned over a lifetime to always be thinking. And this is the source of much of our suffering and the degradation of our mental health. And so if we wish to have pristine mental health, we must create a new habit of continually returning to this present moment every time we get caught in our mind storms. We break the habit of negative thinking, of rumination, of overthinking, and we return to the silence, the stillness of the present moment. Because in this present moment is a state of no mind, a flow state, where there is absolutely no resistance that hinders the flow of life. So the more we can remain present, the more easily life can flow through us, and the more easily we can flow through life. Watch, next time you find yourself overthinking, thinking about the past or the future or judging your experiences, you will find that almost immediately tension arises in your body. You get uncomfortable and you begin suffering because you have lost the present moment. I am Ray. I wish you good luck on your journey. Much peace and many blessings.